All right, let's jump right into it. Today, we're taking a really deep analytical look at a piece of media that completely masquerades as a simple children's story. But, as you'll see, it rapidly unfolds into something entirely different. The text we're breaking down is a transcript from a Mama Toons video titled The Ugly Duckling, Funny Cartoon. Now, you're probably expecting a gentle, classic tale about a misunderstood bird, right? Well, scratch that. As we dig into the actual dialogue and the narrative structure of this specific adaptation, we're going to uncover a chaotic, high-stakes crime thriller literally hiding in plain sight. Let's look at the evidence and figure out exactly what is going on here.
Okay, let's dive into this. Just listen to this direct line from our source material. "Boss, I brought your girlfriend's baby. Look here." I mean, wow. This one sentence instantly shatters any illusion that we're dealing with a traditional fairy tale. We are suddenly thrust into the language of organized crime, hostages, and underworld hierarchies. You have to ask yourself, why is a cartoon animal reporting to a boss? And why on earth is a baby being delivered as some kind of prize for the boss's girlfriend? The sheer tonal whiplash here is just staggering. So the big question is, how did a story about a little duckling escalate to this level of criminality?
To figure out how we ended up with organized kidnapping, we need to go back to the beginning. Section 1, the inciting incident, a shattered piece.
What's truly wild is just how fast the situation completely deteriorates. Step 1 is pure domestic tranquility. We hear the chirp-chirp, a family hugging, characters saying things like, "Give your daddy a big hug," and "I love you." It's totally idyllic. But then, almost instantaneously, we hit step 2, the discovery. The dialogue abruptly shifts into full-blown panic. We get, "What happened? Why are you crying?" followed by the chilling realization, the nest is empty. And then we hit step 3, where the perpetrator is identified with a devastating report. Our egg has been stolen, a monkey took it away. In mere moments, we've gone from family hugs to a missing child and an identified kidnapper.
And that brings us to the immediate aftermath and the victim's testimony. When pressed to explain the stolen egg, the response is just full of trauma. "I had a very bad experience with a monkey." It perfectly frames the primate suspect not just as some opportunistic thief, but as a source of profound distress. The phrase "a very bad experience" really highlights the deep psychological impact of the kidnapping, and this is even before we get to the physical rescue attempt.
But the source text doesn't stop there. It actually gives us a direct window into the antagonist's perspective. Section 2, the underworld plot. A coordinated syndicate.
This part brilliantly illustrates the true nature of the threat we're dealing with. The monkey isn't acting alone. He's basically a foot soldier in what appears to be a highly organized kidnapping syndicate. It's like a giant puzzle. Step 1, the monkey explicitly seeks and receives permission from a figure referred to as master. Step 2 is the physical theft itself. And step 3, the stolen asset is delivered to yet another figure of authority, the boss, specifically to be given to the boss's girlfriend. This absolutely isn't random wildlife behavior. It's a coordinated operation with a clear chain of command and a designated end client. To really highlight this chain of command, listen to this exact quote from the monkey henchman. "Ready to go, absolutely master, just give me permission." The chilling obedience here is just undeniable, isn't it? The monkey isn't driven by hunger or animal instinct. He's acting on direct orders from a superior. This strict hierarchy, starting from the master giving permission, down to the monkey executing the theft, and finally up to the boss receiving the goods, reveals a deeply entrenched underworld plot operating right in the middle of this supposed children's cartoon.
So, the egg is in the hands of an organized syndicate, which brings us to Section 3, the confrontation, a high-stakes showdown.
The opposing forces are officially set for the ultimate showdown. On one side, you have the desperate duck family fighting for survival, guided by an ally who says, "I know where your little one is, come with me." On the other side, the monkey and the boss, the organized kidnappers currently holding the baby. The stakes literally could not be higher, and the ensuing dialogue reflects exactly how incredibly tense this standoff really is.
The confrontation kicks off with a massive ultimatum. Return the baby duck or I'll make your situation very bad. Notice the phrasing here. This is classic tough guy action movie dialogue. The hero doesn't just politely ask for the baby back, they threaten the physical well-being and the situation of the kidnappers. It's a direct, highly calculated threat meant to intimidate the syndicate into backing down.
But of course, the syndicate doesn't back down. The monkey actually taunts them saying, "You want a piece of me? Bring it." And that leads to this massively escalated ultimatum from our heroes. "If you want to live, give the baby duck back right now." The tension has officially gone from a vague threat of a very bad situation directly to a life-or-death scenario. The heroes are explicitly stating that lethal force is absolutely on the table if that kidnapped child isn't returned immediately.
Well, diplomacy officially fails and physical combat is initiated. The hero deploys a specialized tactical move shouting, "Buzzball, take that!" Now, we don't have the visual data on what exactly a buzzball is, but based on the text, it's a named offensive strike used to breach the enemy's defenses. It's the opening salvo in what quickly becomes an absolute melee. Let's look at the combat log.
The combat log's combat log is just rapid fire and brutal. We get commands and observations like fight hit the monkey and he hit him. The heroes try to pin the enemy down, yelling, "You move, monkey, not a chance." The monkey tries a counterattack, declaring, "This is my turn," which gets immediately shut down by the heroes with a defiant never. They're even shouting, "Come back here, you will move again, get away, I've got you now." It is an intense, high-speed physical altercation with both sides exchanging blows and tactical maneuvers.
After that wild flurry of violence and tactical strikes, the dust finally settles. Section 4. The Reunion. A sudden de-escalation.
So, we've seen a kidnapping, an organized crime ring, life-or-death threats, and a physical brawl involving a literal buzzball strike. So, how does this massive conflict actually end? Who wins the fight and what happens to the syndicate?
This is how it ends. It was my mistake. Please forgive me. After all that buildup, all the threats of a very bad situation, and the brutal melee combat, the resolution is just incredibly sudden and jarring. The monkey, the henchman of the master and the boss, just abruptly surrenders. He issues this incredibly polite apology, basically calling the kidnapping and the brawl a mistake. The sheer absurdity of this immediate de-escalation following a high-stakes underworld plot is fascinating. The villains literally just give up and apologize.
And the crazy part? The victims accept it without another word. "I love my little duckling. We're so proud. He's a sweet little guy." The family instantly resets to their idyllic, peaceful state. It is literally as if the trauma, the missing egg, the boss, the master, and the life-or-death combat never even happened. The narrative just snaps right back to a wholesome domestic scene, completely ignoring the massive criminal conspiracy they just violently dismantled.
Which leaves us with one final, very provocative question. What does an organized crime syndicate have to do with the classic ugly duckling fairy tale? I mean, the original story is about identity and finding where you belong, right? But the Mama Toons adaptation we analyzed today takes those familiar characters and drops them straight into a chaotic world of monkey henchmen, underworld bosses, tactical buzzball strikes, and hostage negotiations. It's a brilliant illustration of how entirely unpredictable and bizarre modern narrative adaptations can become. I hope this structured breakdown helped you make sense of this wild ride. Keep questioning the media you consume, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.